Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and today I have a card and envelope showcasing the November 2016 Simon Says Stamp card kit. I am using the embossing folder, pattern papers, cardstock, stamps, and stickles from the kit. Lots of awesome components for a fall themed card and envelope. This is the incredible embossing folder included in the kit, and I'm going to take some of that ivory cardstock, also from the kit. I've trimmed it down to 4 inches by 5¼ inches, and I am using the tab 4 embossing folders there on my Sizzix Big Shot and running it through the machine. And it's going to give this great embossed texture to my paper. So there's what it looks like. There's one side and the other. You can use either side that you like. While I have my Big Shot out, I am going to go ahead and die cut the rest of the components that I'll be using for my card here today. I love this die. It's from a previous release from Simon Says Stamp. It's the sketch frame. And then I love the stitched maple trio dies. And I think they're perfect for a fall themed card. And I think the papers, that both the cardstock and pattern papers in the kit are great for fall themed cards. I've used them for my other card I shared this month, and I wanted to use these same colors for this card today. So I'm using scraps of that to die cut an orange pattern paper, a yellow pattern paper, red, and then some green. And I'm just using all 3 of those stitched maple leaf dies, and I'm going to set all of those aside. So I'm going to have 12 leaves total. I think I ended up only using 10 on my card, so you might have a couple extra to use on something else. So there is my leaves. Next, I am going to die cut my frame, and I'm also going to die cut the inside of the frame. I have this scrap of paper with the wood grain left over from my other card this month, and I'm going to go ahead and utilize it. It was my favorite pattern paper. I love wood grain pattern paper anyway. But I'm going to do an inlay style with this going to be the inside of that sketch frame, and then the outside will be die cut from the metallic envelope included in the card kit. So I'll just be keeping the inside portion here. You could keep the frame. It kind of didn't quite fit, so it kind of broke apart. If you die cut it from something larger, you could use that for something else and maybe even create 2 cards. I'm going to go ahead and pull apart my envelope. This is I believe it's the metallic copper envelope. And while it's a great envelope, you can also kind of pull it apart like I did here and create die cuts from it. So I am die cutting the sketch frame a couple of times. I'm going to roll it back and forth. It's a pretty delicate frame so that I can mount or adhere these frames one on top of another just to give them a little bit of dimension. I don't want too much. I'm going to have that great embossed cardstock in the background of my card. Then I'm going to have my framed up greeting, and then finally finish with those scattering of leaves all around my frame. So such a pretty frame, and it's going to look really pretty framing up that wood grain sign. I'll go ahead and die cut this a couple more times. I did end up only using 2 of the frames for my card share today. You could definitely do all 3 if you wanted to, only do 1. Make multiple cards with this same style. There's so many different things you can do. This particular card design would actually be really great to make multiples of. This is the card I'm planning on giving my mom, who is the hostess for this year's Thanksgiving, and I thought this would be a really nice card for her. So there are my frames. Keep those little inside pieces. I think the leaves would look incredible die cut from those. So many things you can do with those little leftover pieces from the inside. I'm going to take a powder tool now to the wood grain that I've die cut, and I'm going to take one of the stamped greetings from the Thankful Heart stamp set. I love this stamp set. It is my new favorite greeting stamp set. It's incredible. I'm going to stamp a greeting with Versamark ink, and then heat emboss it with white embossing powder. It reads "So much to be thankful for," which I think is a beautiful greeting. Perfect for this time of the year and all time of the year. I think it's just a beautiful greeting and the font is gorgeous. Once that's heat set, I think the white stands out so nicely against the wood grain, nice and bright. And I'm going to be adhering this to that embossed background and then placing my metallic copper frame around that and finishing with some leaves. Before I put it together, I'm going to add just a little bit of distress ink to my leaves, give them a little bit of color or a little bit more color. It gives them more dimension, more depth, makes them a little more interesting. I'm applying the Fired Brick Distress ink to the red leaves. To the green leaves, I'm going to adhere Forest Moss Distress ink. I think the green makes a huge difference. I really like that. I try to keep a little of the base color. That way you get more of that two-tone. Nice shading there. Wild Honey for the yellow leaves. Finish this last one real quick. And then for the orange leaves, I'll use a little Rusty Hinge Distress ink, which is a nice, perfect orange color for fall, I think. So I'll finish that off, and then my leaves are all colored with some nice shading, and I'm ready to start putting the card together. So first I need to decide which side I want to use of my embossed background. And I kind of like this one a little bit more where the flowers are the part that are popped up, not the background. So I am going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the back of my wood grain greeting and attach that right there to my card base. This will be a landscape style card. I'm going to use a little glue pen now to trace around this. Because that sketch frame is so teeny tiny and thin, placing the glue on the card itself and then taking the frame to that is going to be so much easier. And I'm just going to carefully place all of those little pieces in there for that inlay style. And really the only area that gave me some trouble was just this little teeny tiny piece over here along the right side, but I used a piercing tool or just something kind of sharp that you can kind of maneuver it over there. And then I glued that in place and glued the second frame right on top of the first. Now I'm trying to figure out how many leaves I want to use along the bottom. You could see you could do them all across the bottom, all around. I kind of like the bottom two corners the best. So that's what I'm going to do. And here's that second frame. I guess I had not attached it yet. I'm just putting some little dabs of glue. Go ahead and place the second one right on top. Put something heavy on top that's going to hold it down till the glue dries. I like to use acrylic blocks. And I'm going to start attaching my leaves with some bling glue dots. They're little glue dots. Make it super easy to attach small die cut pieces. I've got some great leaves along that right corner. I'll build up the left bottom corner as well. Just nice little decoration for that frame. Once I have my leaves all tucked into place, I'm going to take some of the Stickles glitter glue. Oh, before I do that, I did put foam adhesive on the back of my panel and attach that to an ivory card base, which I created from some additional ivory Simon Says Stamp cardstock. I'll stamp Happy Thanksgiving on the inside of the card with the ink included in the kit. This is the Celestial Copper ink. And then finally, I'm going to finish with some dabs of the Stickles glitter glue included in the kit. Let that sit and dry, and that's going to finish off this Happy Thanksgiving thankful card. Thanks for joining me today for this card showcasing components from the November 2016 Simon Says Stamp card kit. Please be sure to visit the Simon Says Stamp blog for more information. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.